TCU is looking at maybe one of the most unheralded trips of the Longhorns to Fort Worth since the Southwest Conference dissolved this weekend, but they still have a lot of work to do on their defense. With Carlos Mendez, I'm Travis Brown, and Gary Patterson talked a lot about how he has to grow up this young defense that's filling in for a lot of injured starters and looking at it as the season on a whole, but in reality, that's not even the way that he's looking at it. You just kind of have to keep pressing on is basically the message that he put across.
Yeah, I think he knows this is what he's got. What he's got today is, what he's going to finish the season with, because he's not getting – most of these guys he's just not going to get back. So, but I thought he made an interesting point today when he said that, he doesn't have to have the best team in the country right now. He only has to be there by the end of the year. Be one of the 4 best by the end of the year, and that's when he can be judged. Right now it's just about winning, just about get yourself to the pageant, so to speak. At that point, let's see what your body of work says, let's see how you're playing. But for now, it really is a survival mode for these guys. You're playing a lot of good offenses in this conference, and if you can just win, like he said today, it's relief more than excitement.
A little new spin on that win by 1 point basically is what it kind of sounds like. Now looking specifically at this week's game, they have another quarterback in Jarrod that they're going to have to contain, that can make plays with his arm and with his legs. Interesting enough that Gary said that they went looking back at how they looked at preparing for SMU and for Texas Tech. They had Kenny Hill, who's in there at scout team, and even Tony James, who was a high school quarterback, running around in the backfield and having their players chase him down and really work on those containment type plays in practice. And he thought that his team came into both those games a little bit tired from all that running around they had to do. So this week it might be a little more walkthrough, a little more talk, and a little less actually action on the field.
Yeah, he's got to take care of the legs he's got. They played a pretty late game Saturday, a long game, and he said they didn't practice at all on Sunday, which is a departure from the norm. He said they just jogged and watched film. So, Patterson is usually a pretty conscious coach about keeping his team fresh, but it's even more important this season with what they're trying to get through.
Mm-hmm. So looking into this game, what are some of your keys for the game for TCU and Texas?
Well, number one is slowing down Jarrod. This is a young kid, which – I'm going to be interested to see what Patterson does with his defense because, Gary Patterson's the kind of coach that loves to confuse young quarterbacks. Problem is he doesn't really have a defense that, maybe is in tune to everything he wants to do with them. He may have to play a little bit more basic, more vanilla, just to slow down the Texas quarterback. But, that's the first key is keep Jarrod contained. And the next thing is, of course, like it always is from your standpoint, is take care of the ball. Don't allow cheap scores for the other team. Don't let Texas get something that starts their momentum going. You've got the better team here, most likely. You just need to play like it and see where you come out.
Mm-hmm. And Texas Tech laid a blueprint last week for how to effectively run the ball up the middle against a weakened TCU defense because of injury and a young TCU defense with 2 safeties basically playing at linebacker. So I think definitely TCU needs to find that way to plug up that middle and force some guys outside, force some guys to, Derek Kindred and some of those more veteran, to Denzel Johnson, who might actually be the best linebacker TCU has on the field, and not have some of these younger, inexperienced players having to rely on those open field tackles to really secure defensive stops. It's a morning kickoff here at Amon G. Carter Stadium between TCU and Texas, and be sure to check StarTelegram.com for all the best recaps and videos from the game.